All right, so the next several days are going to be a lot of TCB. I have some personal projects and I have some portfolio projects and I have some organization, just a little bit of a lot of different things, and I honestly am really excited about it. I have noticed that over the past year, as I have been learning YouTube and as I have been growing different aspects of my practice and really working to get kind of like the behind the scenes stuff really down pat, it has been a minute since I have really just played with paper and made something for myself and really explored the medium that I love so much to see what's next. And having completed the artist way, I really am at a point where I want to see what's next. So let's see what we can get into, and I'm kind of excited about it. If you're new here, welcome. I am Alexis. I'm a full-time artist in Brooklyn, New York, and on this channel I share art in the city and the life of a small business owner. And if that sounds like something that you're into, I invite you to stick around. As I continue to build routines to make the most of each day, I have still really been enjoying the clarity that I experience with the mental performance shot Magic Mind. I am thrilled that they sent me their product to try, as I have noticed an increased ability to focus and to really knock out so much of my ever-evolving to-do list. Because let's face it, as a small business owner, that to-do list is never-ending. And if you would like to try Magic Mind for yourself and get up to 48% off your first subscription, you can go to magicmind.com/paperforthepeople and enter in paperforthepeople20 at checkout. So I think the first thing to do today is to organize my large paper. I have tried so many different configurations for storing this, and eventually I would really love to get just some sort of very large drawer system. But for now, they have lived in large portfolios on like a poster rack, and the portfolios are starting to scrunch. And I have some just like more free-form cardboard ones that I'm wondering if those will work to help give it just a little bit more structure. So I'm gonna pull that out, and I'm gonna cross my fingers that I have at least enough of those to get this started. And I am hoping that it will, one, keep the paper safer, but two, also make it easier to access. This has been like a never-ending struggle as somebody who works with paper. If one of you works with paper and have found a system that works for those really large pages, let me know, because I am very, very curious. So ideally, this would not happen in a storage for paper. It would keep it flat and just safe. And I can deal with a little bit of this, but what I have noticed happening is that as the portfolios separate, the glue from the portfolios is attaching to different sheets of paper, and that's what I want to avoid. So I'm gonna try something different, and it'll be like a temporary solution, but sometimes temporary solutions are perfectly fine. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave the ones that aren't bent, I'm gonna leave them as they are, and I'm gonna try the bent ones. So the paper that already has a curve to it, I'm gonna put them in these like cardboard, and maybe that'll help. I don't know. I'm really just like figuring it out as I go. I think that that will work for now. It's an improvement. So today really is just kind of all over the place, and I think that's okay. I think what I have done in the past was to have one project and to see that one project through all of the way from start to finish, and then I just had this like never-ending mental load of things that I wanted to get to, but everything always felt so far out of reach, because in order to get to that fifth thing, I needed to complete those first four things. And when I was in that artist cohort back in 2022, something that our mentor mentioned was that in order to kind of get things moving and to stay on top of things, you need to be comfortable, or you need to have perhaps a growing comfort with having multiple projects going at once. And when I was teaching, my days were filled with 1,000 tasks. And so I was always switching like what I was doing at the drop of a hat, right? So like 1 minute I'm teaching math, the next minute I'm helping a kid who spilled his water, and the next minute I'm helping two people learn how to be better friends to one another. I mean, it was just like a constant switch. So I can do that. I think what has prevented me from doing that here now is just space. And I know I say that all the time, but we have like 500 square feet, and my husband is a musician, so he has that middle room, which is just full of recording engineer equipment and instruments and my art supplies. But between this third of our living room that I've kind of commandeered and that middle room, it very easily starts to feel like we're bursting at the seams. And so I never want to have too many things out at once, with the exception of like the holidays. The holidays are just that time of year that very, very gratefully have been very busy. So I'll have like multiple commissions in multiple states of completion, and ornaments and packing supplies and all of the things everywhere. But I want to get more comfortable with pulling out the supplies for multiple projects and kind of leaving them in various stages of completion, and finding a system to where I can put them to keep them safe. You know, I think that's been like my biggest challenge. I had a stack above that expedite shelf back here, but you know, then I close the door, I walk by it too fast and things fall. And so I'm just trying to prevent like an avalanche of work, if you will. But I just finished this. I drew the stencil yesterday and I just cut this out, and this is for a personal piece as a gift for someone who is very dear to me. I'm gonna get this done within the next handful of days. There are multiple projects. I finished one earlier today already. After I organized the paper, I did this for Marcellus Williams. In whichever way you feel comfortable, I think it is really important that you speak out and you speak up. And for me, oftentimes when I am spinning about something, what helps me process and move through those big emotions is to create something. I don't know if most artists also experience that, but I know that for me, Paper for the People absolutely started in standing up and speaking out. And in all of the evolution of my art practice, I never want to lose sight of where it began. And I think that it's really important to remember why, right? Remember your why, remember why you do something. And through seasons of life and through evolution of creation and practice, find ways to get back to that, right? And so I think that over the past 2 years, as I have really, I was gonna say struggled, but it hasn't really been a struggle, but as I have allowed myself to heal and to come up for air for the first time in a very long time. I am giving myself permission to get back to what it is that I want to create. When Paper for the People first started, it was absolutely passion projects, left and right, and then very gratefully, because it has allowed this transition to have a greater sense of ease than just like immense panic all of the time, commissions became a thing. And so commissions have really been holding down my practice, and depending on the season, the commissions are all I have time for. In addition to that, you know, just getting everything else in order. And then with YouTube, and I'm loving YouTube, and I hope that as I share more of this process and more of who I am, we continue to find our people here. But there days go by where I am just behind a computer editing videos. And so there really has been a disconnect of myself from what it is that I'm doing and actually cutting paper for projects that mean something to me. And if I know one thing to be true, it's those passion projects, the projects that you're really excited about and can't wait to get to. Those are the ones that tend to resonate, because I think that there's some deep part of yourself that you put into that work. And I believe that that deep part of yourself is perceived and received by the viewer. And so I'm just really excited to have more time now. I've been doing so much process and procedure and foundation, and I just finished The Artist Way, and I really do feel like all of the work that has been taking place since truly March is setting me up to enter into this new phase of life, really ready to go. And so I'm giving myself permission for the next period of time to, of course, create whatever client work comes in, because I'm so grateful and honored when that client work comes in. But most importantly, to give myself the permission to experiment and to take up space and to maybe not know how to do something so that I can then figure out how it is that I want to do that thing. But all of that to say, within the next bit of time, my goal is to get this created. Sorry about the sirens. It's a beautiful fall day here and I have the windows open. But I'm gonna get this done, and then I'm gonna continue to sketch. So I need to create like another stencil for that community piece so that I can then fill in the community for that community piece. So I'm gonna be jumping between these two things, and I have about 7 hours left in the Goldfinch. But that is my task, and I'm just gonna see what I can get done over the next few days. But I'm gonna put my book back in, and I think I am telling myself that I'm gonna get their bodies done, maybe a head or two. So let's go. So I've been thinking a lot about the why, and how when we are in a period of survival, which I think is something that most of us will experience at one point or another in our life, we are just simply trying to make it through the day. And in making it through the day, we don't have time to think about why it is that we are doing something. And we often don't have time to stop and slow down and really reassess where our life is headed and where we would like for it to go and what values we want to build our life on. And this has been something that I have been thinking about quite a bit, not just through this rebuilding process, but honestly, it's been something that I've pondered from time to time throughout my life, right? What is it that I want to stand for? What is the future that I want to build? And how do I want to participate in that building? Because it's not just me, it's all of us working together to collectively create this future in which we may all thrive. As I have been on this journey of rebuilding after extreme burnout, there has been an underlying sense of panic, if I'm being quite frank, because I don't know how this pans out. You know, I don't know how this becomes sustainable. I don't know how I build a life forward that will allow for all that I hope for it to be. But I have been practicing releasing that. And I have been really working to build in systems so that I can guarantee that I am getting that downtime. That downtime that I know is necessary for us to be able to thrive. For me to really reconnect with myself so that I can be the most effective when I am engaged and when I am navigating the world in which we live. And so I don't know if anybody else has also experienced something like this, or has even perhaps been thinking about their why and what they hope for. But I would really love to know your thoughts on this. So, shoot me a comment and let's start a conversation about how you are perhaps pushing against grind culture and capitalism and finding ways to reconnect with yourself so that you can reconnect with your community, so that collectively we can really do something significant for our future generations. So I said I was going to do maybe some heads and then work on my sketch, but I really think that you just create wherever you feel inspired. So I have made about 1/3 of the people and this little one's hair is, all those layers. And that's one of my favorite things about the portraits is figuring out the hair. So I have this done, and although I know I could sit here for a bit longer and work, I think I might go for a little walk and then work on the sketch. And then if I feel up for it, I'll keep working on this. If not, I'll do it tomorrow, but I'm gonna get moving. All right, if you were a child of the 80s or 90s, this would be the point in the sitcom where there would be a to be continued. I really thought that I was going to take you along over the course of several days, but as I was going through the footage for this video, it was easily almost an hour. And I don't know, maybe you would be down to spend an hour of your day with me. However, I thought, as we're starting out, maybe it would be best to split it up into 2 parts. So come back for the next artist vlog if you would like to see this piece finished and if you would like to spend some time with me as I continue that community piece. But I am on this journey of growing in comfort of leaving things unfinished, and I think that that's what this is a part of. So I just want to say that if you found enjoyment or value here, I would really, really appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up. That helps YouTube know that there's something going on over here and they're more willing to share me with people like you so that we can continue to grow our community over here. And if you would like to follow along as I rebuild my life after tremendous burnout to be sustained by art here in New York City, I would be truly honored if you subscribed. I am so honored with any amount of time you choose to spend with me, so thank you. And lastly, whatever time of day you've watched this, I hope it's been a kind one. Until next time.